What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is the continuation of Mixed Six-Pack Theme Month here on the channel. And today is day 4, and the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Dogfish Head Craft Brewery, and they're out of Milton, Delaware, and this is their Palo Santo Marron. So on the label, they call this a wood-aged brown ale. Basically, it's an Imperial Brown Ale that is aged in handmade Palo Santo tanks. Comes in at 12% alcohol by volume, 50 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just under 5 months old. So full disclosure, I've had this one before, but I don't think I've had it this fresh. And I know 5 months doesn't seem super fresh or anything, but more often than not, when I've bought this beer, it's usually been around a year old or older. So this is probably the freshest I've had this beer. On the front, it says, aged in handmade Palo Santo takes this unfiltered, unfettered brown ale is an unprecedented blend of roasty, vanilla, and caramel complexities. So yeah, really do dig this one. And the funny thing about this is, it's during Mixed Six-Pack Theme Month, so I got this bottle for $1.83. You're talking about 12%, Imperial Brown Ale aged in wood barrels for $1.83. Now, I don't know if anyone else is going to find this in their Mix of Six. This is like a Rod J deal. Shout out to Rod over at Rod J Beer Ventures. This is like a Rod J deal. To find this for under $2 a bottle, probably not that common. I want to say like 4 packs of this run at least $12, probably closer to 14 or 16. Those is a bit more expensive. So I've seen this a couple times in Mixed Six-Packs at Wegmans grocery stores. I don't know if they get down to like their last 4-pack or maybe the last couple 4-packs and they just decide to throw it into the Mixed Six area. But yeah, really happy I grabbed this one because I haven't reviewed it and I haven't had it in a couple years. And yeah, I want to get into it. Anyway, let's crack this one open. So this has been out of the fridge for about 45 minutes, so you're probably looking in the mid to high 50s, probably appropriate drinking temperature, I would assume, using the hashtag proper glassware. Let's give it a pour. Oh yeah. That looks like a brown ale. This doesn't, pouring into the glass, I'm only going to pour about half, but pouring into the glass, it doesn't have like a super huge, like motor oil type of look to it. This is Imperial Brown Ale. It's not Imperial Porter, Imperial Stout. So I like that, there's a little bit more lightness. And even the glass is going to come off pitch black, probably on camera, maybe not. But this even has like more of like a super deep, dark mahogany, dark brown look to it. Little bit of like ruby red tinges down here as opposed to black, which again, it's a brown ale. It's Imperial Brown Ale. It has about a half finger, maybe a 1/3 finger of a really nice, I want to say tan approaching light brown colored head, very creamy looking. There's a ton of legs on it. Swirl just to see them, but yeah, the legs on there, insane. Anyway, let's get a nose. Oh yeah, that smells like desserty, but then there's this sharp, like oak tannin presence in the nose that kind of cuts that, but it does smell desserty right off the rip. Oh yeah, caramel toffee. There's a little bit like almost char type component. I don't think the barrels are charred or anything, but it has like this really deep roasty complexity to it. Vanilla, a little bit of like black licorice too. A slight nuttiness. Some dark fruit characteristics like a raisin, plum. It smells like a bigger beer, but it doesn't smell like it's going to be 12%. It's quite sweet, like I said, but it's also reserved a bit in the sweetness because, again, that sharpest, like oak tannin thing going on, that really roasty character kind of brings back the sweetness, at least to the nose. Oh man, that smells awesome. Yeah, I could just sit here and smell it for the next 10 minutes or whatever, but I want to drink it because I got to review it. So cheers to everyone. Let's see what this one has to offer. Fucking delicious. Wow. It's just even, oh my God. This is not super fresh or anything, right? This isn't like a couple weeks old. And I've only had this beer, like I said, about a year old or older. For $1.83 a bottle, even for like $3-4 a bottle, this is fucking stellar. The body, it's like medium to full body. This is not a bit thin at 12%. It has this really nice viscous and just like almost syrupy mouthfeel to it, or body to it. The mouthfeel, super soft and creamy. This is like really creamy. It's almost like they are using lactose or something, like just all the oats you ever wanted to bring out that creaminess and that really soft mouthfeel. The body and mouthfeel on this are just, yeah, I mean, that is spectacular. Such a fun drinking experience just based on the body and mouthfeel. The flavors are really delicious. They're so tasty. Caramel, toffee, vanilla. There's even chocolate in here. Dark fruits, raisins, plums. A little bit of that black licorice, although it was a bit more prominent in the nose than it is in the taste. That cherry roasty component is omnipresent throughout the palate to keep that sweetness in check. And then this one, about mid to 2/3 of the way through the palate, I'm hitting with that oak tannin dryness, or that wood tannin. It just has a tannin feel to it that really dries out the palate. Like this is like full on dry for me on the back of the palate, because it's sweet, 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 boom, dry. And I have to believe it's from the wood. Yeah, it finishes dry, quite dry. But the great thing about it is it's really sweet up front. So it's a beautiful balance. It's like, oh man, this is like a dessert beer. It's really sweet. And then in the back end, it dries out and you're like, I'm gonna go back for another sip, which I'm gonna do. It's infinitely drinkable at 12%. As you can see, I keep on going back. I could probably take this bottle down in less than a half an hour. I'd be feeling really good about it. But yeah, I don't remember it being this good, honestly. Maybe I should have drank them fresher. Maybe I should grab a bottle of this like a month old and just take it down. This might be one of the best beers I've ever bought for under $2. You know, I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. There isn't a lot of negatives here. 12%, drinks like it's 9 or 10. Really no booziness, a little bit in the chest, but on the palate, no. The only reason I can tell you it's a bigger beer is because of the body, the mouthfeel, and that oak, or that tannin, the wood tannin presence, because when I get that, I know the beer was in a barrel, and I usually know that most of those beers are, 8, 9, 10+%. It's the only reason I can tell you this is like an Imperial anything. But yeah, this is, as you can see, I'm kind of speechless. I did not expect to be this good. I really didn't. And that's why you review beers. That's why you try all different beers. That's why you revisit beers. You don't know how you're going to react to a beer you haven't had in a couple of years that's a little bit fresher than you usually drink it. And just, yeah. Anyway, Dogfish Head, a lot of things can be said about them nowadays. I see a lot of people really still dig their stuff. A lot of people think they've fallen off, whatever the case may be. I still enjoy Dogfish Head stuff. And a beer like this, I need to buy more. I need to buy a couple of them, age them, drink it fresh, whatever the case may be. So Palo Santo Marron from Dogfish Head. It gets a straight on 4.75 out of 5. This is fucking divine. This is one of the best Dogfish Head beers I've had, certainly over the past couple of years. And if you see this in a mixed 6-pack, probably buy like, I don't know, at least a couple of them, if not the entire 6-pack, because I should have probably bought a couple more of these. I wasn't really thinking, although I've seen it a couple times in the mixed 6-pack, I would grab it. So value through the roof. I don't even care if this is, even at $3 or $4 a bottle, I would still say it's a great value. Availability, I think this is year round and wherever Dogfish Head distributes. So mostly everybody who gets Dogfish Head, you can get this beer. And again, if you haven't had this one before and you like brown ales, but you just like Imperial, like wood-aged beers, or just Imperial sweeter beers, or just Imperial beers in general, check this one out, because I think you owe it to yourself to give it a go, especially if you can find it for a relatively cheap price like I did. So anyway, Palo Santo Marron, Dogfish Head, 4.75 out of 5. Holy crap. I can't believe it, but it's delicious, and I can't wait to drink the rest of this. So I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. Tomorrow will be day 5 of Mixed 6-Pack week on the channel. I don't remember what I'm going to review tomorrow because this beer's starting to get to me, but no, I just don't even remember. But check back tomorrow. It should be another beer, and it's not going to be another Imperial beer. I don't think it's going to be another Imperial beer. No, beer. I can't say beer because I'm hammered. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.